Second-degree murder charges tonight after bludgeoning a convicted sex offender with a moose antler. The man says that the sex offender had been stalking his small daughter in their community. We want to show you Levi Axtell, the 27-year-old father. And as far back as 2018, Axtell told police that 77-year-old Lawrence V. Scully was stalking his 22-month-old daughter at the time and other children in his van, parking it outside of her daycare. Now, he sought an order of protection from police. It was granted, but then dismissed weeks later. The sex offender was convicted of sexually assaulting a 6-year-old girl and was released from prison for that in 1982. Well, this father allegedly drove to Scully's house, beat him with a shovel 15 to 20 times before, quote, finishing him off with a moose antler. This happened about 2 hours north of Duluth, and right after the murder, Axtell immediately drove himself to the police station covered in blood and turned himself in for the murder. We want to bring in former FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindoffer. Jennifer, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Natasha.
And first, Jennifer, just want to get your initial read on this case, and specifically premeditation here, because this father did not bring a gun to this man's house. The method of death, certainly unusual and gruesome. Any evidence of premeditation here, and how would this case likely play with a jury?
Well, I certainly think a jury will be very sympathetic. This was a 3-year-old little girl. This was somebody who stalked outside of this daycare. Somebody who was indeed convicted of molesting a 6-year-old girl. And this will play well into the chances of him receiving a light sentence. Remember also, he turned himself in. He admitted to everything. Now, certainly I am not excusing his actions, but I'm just saying that typically a person who commits a crime like this for these reasons receives a lighter sentence.
And it does seem that this father tried to involve police in 2018. We know that order of protection was filed against Scully after Axtell accused him of stalking and attempting to groom his daughter. And that order initially granted and then dropped several weeks later. Is that a common thing? And what are some instances where an order of protection like that would be dropped?
Well, it's not common, and it shouldn't have been dropped, particularly since this individual had been convicted. It's really disturbing, actually, that this well played into the actions then taken. If that order would have been kept, perhaps this whole incident would not have happened. But it did happen, and certainly he's going to have to pay a criminal price for his conduct. And seemingly he knew that and was willing to pay the price to keep his daughter safe from this individual in his mind.
And sex offenders who have been released do live among us. They live in our communities. If a parent does not feel safe, they feel their child is being targeted, and let's say they even do file an order of protection and it's not enforceable for some reason, what more should a parent do?
Well, what more they can do, and this is terrible to say, but you may have to move. You may have to put yourself out of those crosshairs if you're not getting the proper support from law enforcement. I think we need stiffer sentences against convicted pedophiles, and I think that would help with the situation because there is great recidivism with pedophiles. It is very hard for them to go back in society and not recommit the same crimes.
As this case plays out, will it matter what was actually said, what the exchange that they had in that house before the murder took place looked like? And, you know, we do have the detail that a neighbor heard screaming, but other than that, you know, doesn't the only the father at this point know what actually transpired in that house?
Well, that's exactly right. And he's probably already given some sort of statement, judging by the fact that he went in there, he turned himself in, he was covered in blood. So he's already given a statement, and that's going to be the statement that he's going to be held to. So, Natasha, I don't think we're going to know exactly what words were said other than what he admits to.
And Axtell had known Scully for a long time. We know he's currently charged with second-degree murder, facing potentially 40 years behind bars. Due to the pair's history, could the charges change to first-degree or premeditated murder?
I don't see those changing. I see a scenario where he went there to confront him and then ended up bludgeoning him to death. I don't believe from the reports that he took a pair of antlers with him. So therefore, Natasha, I think this will stay at second-degree murder.
All right, Jennifer Coffindoffer, always appreciate the context and time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.